I'd like to start tonight by introducing you to some of the players. This is 1981-82 football presentations for East Buses. Next season we hope to have Philly Corcoran as captain again, and I'd like to call on Philly as our first player. Right, Phil, as you know, last year you were captain of East Bus. Captain again next year?
Hopefully, yeah.
Now, last year we had no trophies actually on this sideboard.
Well, the new side, the new team got together. They helped a lot of fellas off. We weren't playing, not playing side, but it did help, New team, looking for things in the future. Overall,
but in with a chance next year.
Not a season this year. To let any with shouts about, but I'm saying that we attained a lot in actual fact. Because we've got some sort of spirit in the team, which is most important.
Now, tonight, as you know, is presentation night. It's a pity we didn't have a trophy, but we've picked the player, the manager's picked this player. Been some good players in the last season gone by.
There's been, if not good or great players, certainly players willing to learn and willing to work. You can pick them a number for player of the year, player of the season, whatever you want, your club man, etc. A lot of divisions all over have helped and tried for the whole season, which is most important, because basically the game is about a team game, not about a individual, But I've got my own, which don't divulge at the present time.
Well, we don't want to know who you actually voted for.
But no, full marks for all the boys, but they actually put in.
They really tried.
And also, I must add, a special mention for all the management, the fellas on the sidelines. It's really great to help for all of us, myself included. I don't think there's any one player played all through every game of the season, but on saying that, each and all the players who did play, I think gave their all, which is
that's what
above all more important than anything else, And other than that, I think a season to learn, as it were, East Bus rejuvenated, but a season to start from as well, and a good footing we've got now, for the future years, and hopefully
a trophy next year.
Well, I would expect a trophy at least one. I'm looking for 3.
Oh well, very good. That's the optimistic.
No, look,
talking about trophies, we'd like to take this opportunity from Green Lane, congratulating Edge Lane on winning the President's Cup. Well, give you great satisfaction.
Give me great satisfaction, winning for the second year on the trot.
Yeah, very nice.
The third time in the final in 3 years, and winning twice on the trot gives you great pleasure. This year gave me the greatest pleasure anyway, for the simple reason that, obviously all the teams want to beat the winners the previous year. We were the holders. We wanted to beat us. But on saying that, it was down to them to beat us. There were opportunities. And our hardest game, my job, was probably against Green Lane in the semi-final.
Very nice.
But that's the fact, it was. But we were a little luck, went our way. And in the final, there was no two ways about it, we were far the better team. We beat the Works. The Works is supposed to be, over all divisions, a far better side. In actual fact, they should be, because they got the opportunity of picking players, whereas we haven't. On the Savage side, we're a bit limited. Say it possibly like to be a Hatton Garden, guys on the staff, etc. Hatton Garden, make up a team. Full marks then for trying. But there's no way. I would think it's going to change the format that we have now of the last, say, 6 years. It's either where Edge Lane and Green Lane are going to be teams to watch in the future, and possibly North Bus, or Kilmoss, as we call it, at the garage level. Walton, Speak, they are teams you've got to watch in the future, because they both gave everyone a great game, and even Midland, but it was very competitive, you see, and that's the most important thing. But the greatest pleasure for me was really, at the last minute, I was asked to take over as branch secretary or depot secretary for the President's Club, and I took it. A very good friend of mine, and the lads responded to me as well as they did to him, and I was pleased for that. And that was the
Well, let's hope
probably
next year
point, you know.
that your only trophy isn't your President's Cup. You might win that again, but I hope you have something for East Bucks.
Well, we're looking for the President's Cup, obviously because we're holders again, and I was really happy. But I'm saying that my greatest point, I'd love East Bucks to win something.
Well, we'll have
for
to
me
finish
be
now
part of that.
because we want another buy-in.
Right,
Best
Sam.
of luck next season. I hope you win something.
So like,
Okay, goalkeeper last season. Looking forward to another season.
I hope so.
You're going to have another go? Because I've heard that some players aren't and some players are. You're going to give us...
I'd like to think so, yeah.
So you're going to play for East Bucks next season?
If selected.
If selected. As you know, tonight is presentation night. I'm not asking you for your personal choice. Have we had any outstanding players this year that you can mention as a number? We don't want your own personal. Can you name any fellas that have really stood out?
Jackie Wynn.
It's a nice thing to mention, Jackie.
Well, the thing with Jackie was, the lad was playing football and he didn't know how sick he was.
Yeah.
You know, kept himself trim, but really wasn't trim.
Yeah.
You know, what more can you say about the man? He worked hard when he played, he had to work hard. Midfield, you got to be up front, you got to be back. You know, you're a lad, Tommy Randall. Get on, Tommy.
Yeah. Played for East Bucks for a long, long time.
I played a few times for East Bucks, a few seasons, off and on.
Yeah.
And, you know, Tommy's the other man that's, besides myself, like I've got a bit of experience, but Tommy's given stability at the back.
Yeah. Another one from Edge Lane, by the way. I'd like to congratulate you on winning your President's Cup. Any feelings on that for next year? Anyone to be next year, or do you think you can do it 3 times?
Well, let's face it, they've got to beat us.
Yeah.
It's nothing on us. We've done it. They've got to beat us. They've got to prove something to themselves. We don't need to. We've proved it.
Very
Twice.
good. Well, as I said before, I don't want to ask you for your player of the season. I'm glad to hear you're signing on next year. See you again next season.
Have you got me good side?
Never mind your good side,
Good
Jimmy.
evening, Michael.
Welcome to East Bucks presentation, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Last year, played up front, played midfield. Are you looking forward to next season?
Yeah, I am really, because the players we got signing on and coming over, like I think, you know, if they all turn up and all that as usual, should be a very good side. Like,
Do you want to play up front, midfield?
Well, I'd like to play at the back, you know, right back. This is me. Well, I think my best position. I don't know what the others think like that. I wouldn't mind, you know, I'll play anywhere as long as I get a game. You know, that's the main thing, like, all part of the squad. You know, but you know, there's a lot of good lads coming up, so it'll be hard to get into it. So.
Now, last year we didn't get a trophy.
No.
Do you think we're in with a chance next year with the squad that we're planning on getting together?
Well, on paper, like, there's only one team we've got to beat, really, and that's the Fire Brigade. Or maybe, I don't know if Mosley Cabs are having another go, but if we get the side that we've said that's coming up, I mean, I've played with the likes of Johnny Curtin, you know, they're all good lads. Like.
Now, talking about going back to last year, I'm not going to ask you who you voted for because that's your own personal vote, but is there any players that have really stood out? Can you name 3 or 4 for me?
Well, I think the player that stood out, I think Davy Martin's had a good season. He's took a bit of stick like everyone else, you know, certain amounts of players, but he's got on with it, he's just come up to enjoy it. And I think it's unfortunate that the committee members can't get on, because I think Larry Shelbourne, even though he may not think it himself, like, but I think Larry's had a good
The last chap I spoke to, Arthur, paid special tribute to Jackie Wynn.
Yeah,
You know, considering the circumstances, Jackie really put everything into it.
well, Jackie does. That's Jackie, like, you know, like everyone was sorry when Jackie went out. I mean, it's just, you know, it was unfortunate what he went out with, like, and I believe he will be able to come back.
Yeah.
But, you know, Jackie we've always been in contention for the players' player or player of the year, you know, and I just hope that he comes back next year and he's in the winners.
I'd like to say thanks for coming to Torture Gym. Enjoy yourself, get up and dance, and I'll see you later on. Well, this gives me great pleasure to talk to you, Terry, because we've been friends a long time, and give a few of these players a few years that we don't care to mention, but I'm glad to hear you're signing on again next year. Now, last year, one of two little problems, but the games you played in, you were always outstanding. You come back for Jackie's game, and that was your only trophy this year, was it?
That was the one and only this year.
One and only. Now, you play next year, surely you must be looking forward to a trophy next year. Can you give us any idea of the players that you think stood out last year and that will stand out next year?
The one of them, the one that you just interviewed prior to me, I thought had an outstanding season. Even the games that I missed and I watched.
That's Jimmy Walsh.
Jimmy Walsh, Jimmy played very well. Tony Ball, another one, another good player. But for my money, I think Jimmy Walsh was one of the most outstanding anyway.
And what about the future?
In what respect?
Players that we've heard are signing on and playing, other than yourself, of course, Terry.
No, you must talk about Jackie Wynn, like, you know, Jimmy O'Hanlon even. All good lads.
What about this lad that played in the President Cup, the full-back?
Oh, yes, very promising lad.
Very promising.
What was his name?
I can't think of his name offhand, but...
yes, Rex Sanders.
Yeah, very promising.
Good lad.
So I take it that you're really looking forward to 82, 83.
Without a doubt.
Thanks very much, sir. I hope everything's a success tonight. Enjoy yourself, and I'll see you later. Well, Bill, last year it wasn't a very successful season, halfway down the league. Can you give us some ideas of where we went wrong or what we've got to look to for the future?
You're not Michael Parkinson?
I'm not Michael Parkinson.
Russell Harty?
No, I'm
I've always wanted to be on one of these chat shows.
Well, you're on a chat show. Here's your big Jan Rice, and what do you want to say?
What went wrong?
What went wrong?
Well, since you went on Morning Breakfast TV,
yes.
I haven't watched the programme at all.
Don't blame you.
No, Michael Harty's taken over a bit though.
His name's Russell, yeah.
Russell Harty. Yeah, we're on the right track.
We're nearly there.
Oh, we're getting back to East buses now.
Now let's have a go on East Bus.
Okay then.
Now last year,
what went wrong?
We finished halfway down the league. Nothing really to shout about. East Bus are better. You know,
well, to my mind, we finished in a quite good position actually, considering all the ups and downs what we had through the season. From when I was there and listening to what the other boys had told me, I thought it was quite a good position to finish in.
So after a trial season, you think they've got prospects for next season?
Of course, yes. If one or two positions can always be improved, let's be honest about it, you know.
Yeah.
But basically, good squad of boys.
Well,
smashing.
After
good
saying
team
that,
spirit.
I don't want to ask who you voted for, but can you give me mention some of the fellas that were outstanding last year and who could be outstanding next year?
Well, in the forward line, Stevie Doolan more or less carried the forward line by himself. Going back to surnames now, forget half the surnames because I was only on first names with half the guys. Young Steve, who's deputised in goal quite a lot, and played out various other times. I thought he was an excellent team player. Done a great job in goal when he did have to come in goal, and done his bit outside of goal. Turned up every week. Young Tony, who was
Tony Ball.
Yeah, young Tony was a substitute quite a lot. He was turning up. And just various other
So you were very satisfied with the squad?
Overall, I was satisfied with everyone myself. I couldn't ask for a better bunch of fellas.
So 1983 could be a good season for us?
It could be if we just have a bit more luck.
Yeah,
a bit more luck.
To do with it.
And cut out the gaggling and the mouthing.
We hear this all the time, don't we?
Same old story from
one or two players,
myself included, no exceptions. Like, at the same time, couldn't it? And thank you very much, Russell.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming to talk to us.
I didn't think you'd be here tonight. I knew we were expecting a surprise guest. But give my regards to Michael.
Right. Well, enjoy yourself, and we hope to see you next season.
Okay, thanks, Bob Monkout.
Well, Brian, 1982 was a bit of a disaster season. You had one or two injuries.
One big injury.
One big injury.
But apart from that, was one of the worst East Bus sides we've ever beaten, really.
Yeah.
So
But it was only a team to start with the boys coming up and new boys signing on. East Bus of 1982-83. Any prospects?
Well, I won't be playing this year.
No, I've heard you're not playing. Why problem?
No. Just a disaster last year. It was so bad last year I wouldn't want to play again for that. I don't know. I hope they do well this season. I heard they've got a lot of players coming up. There's works and a few other players. But they've got the makings of the team. I just don't think they had the... I don't know. The tactics seemed to be lacking last year. It seemed to be no discipline in the side, really. Too much shouting on the pitch.
Well, the last Billy just said that there was a lot of chattering.
Yeah, it was always done on the pitch.
Yeah. Well,
it's just unfortunate that some people play under that and some people can't play with it.
Well, can you give us an idea of any good players that stood out to you last year?
Well, of course, I've always been Davy Martin, mainly because he played in the back four in any position and always seems to have done his best without shouting and without moaning at everyone. If he made a mistake, he took it. Didn't always turn up, but I thought that he'd done well. And I voted for Jimmy Whalen second place because he's got the skill, but he's got the mouth to go. If he didn't kept his mouth closed, I thought he would have done really well.
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, he pulled the side, so I'll give it to Davy Martin, really.
Anybody else for the future? Any of the younger players that you can mention?
Well, I think a lot of the young players dropped out, and no, not really. No, not unless they sort of get a system together that they play all the time.
Yeah.
I think they lack a system really, and I think that's they've got to train. They've got to train all through the season. I don't think training every Monday they're playing, and then no training helps. I think you've got to play against these sides all the time.
Well, thanks for talking to us, and I'd like you to enjoy yourself. We might see you up there later on, picking up a trophy. Best of luck anyway.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you.
Well, Larry, last year, done a bit of everything. Treasurer,
Yes.
right back, left back, anywhere at all.
Yes.
What do you think of last year's squad compared with other squads? Because you've played in quite a few now.
What's that?
No, it's not a slag on age or anything like that. You've played in quite a few good East Bus teams.
Well, I thought last year's squad should have done better than what they did do, actually.
Yeah. 1983.
1983. Well, I don't know what kind of players he's got lined up.
Well, taking the players that he had last year, will they improve or...
On the players last year, no.
No, we're stuck at a dead end.
But I believe he has got players.
I believe there are players coming.
The players out there that are coming probably will do well.
Yeah. Now I know there's one certain player that stood out for you when we played in the President's Cup. Now I believe this gentleman's turning up, the chap that played left back.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, that. I'm made up with that. That's sound, that. I mean, you must be looking for better things than that. But that's great, that. I didn't know that.
Now, I'm not going to ask you who you voted for.
Why?
Well, I don't think it's right to put anybody actually on the spot, but can you mention a couple of players that stood out for you last year?
Oh, I see, yeah. We'll go through everything. But there's a player there getting on my names now, looking at me. Okay, yeah, sorry. I've got the wind up here. The three players were Stevie Doolan, obviously, because he's an amazing man, and I like the player, and he did a lot for him. Up front, he did and in midfield. Who else? Sorry, they're rushing me.
You just take your time there.
Okay, I'll take my time. Stevie Doolan, obviously, because I think he did in midfield, and he did it up front. The other player was Jimmy Walsh, of course. Did a lot for us. Another player, which I think he did a lot for the club over the years. I know he's not supposed to ask that, but I think he was the player of the year, and I voted for him because he epitomises every club. You know, every club that there is, you know what I mean? He was enthusiastic, didn't want to lose, and that was Davy Martin.
Well, that's great. Enjoy yourself for the rest of the night, Larry.
I will, yes.
And I hope you're right on your
And I hope we have a
choice.
successful season next
Thank
year.
you very much. Dave, 1982, no trophies on the sideboard. 1983, what do you think?
I don't think there'll be any trophies on the sideboard again.
Well, what about personal trophies?
I don't know, no, I don't think so.
No? Well, I've spoken to a few players tonight, and your sneaking feelings, I think you might come close, mate.
No, we can all take them with you there now.
Well, is there any players that stood out in 1982 for you?
Not
Don't
really.
just pick one, you know, is there a couple of...
I think the operations of the team more than individually. I feel sorry for Stevie Conley because he never played out all the time.
Well, a few people have said how good of a club player Stevie Conley was. He filled in a lot of places, and then on other times when there was a full squad there, poor Stevie was the one that had to stand down.
Yeah. And also, I don't think you've seen the best of Jimmy O'Hanlon, you know, or Billy Crawford. I don't think it was a good season on their part. So, you know, it was a hard decision, like, who to pick. But I still feel sorry for Stevie Conley, but I never voted for him.
No, well, so he's missed out again. Well, I hope you enjoy yourself tonight.
Yeah,
maybe we'll see you on the video later on, dancing, or maybe you get up with the hypnotist. Thanks very much anyway.
Okay.
Best of luck. Well, Tommy, been playing for East Buses for, I'm sure, more years than you care to mention.
Many.
You've played in some really good East Bus teams, taking the league and the cup, just have a few medals. How did you rate last year's East Bus team as a squad?
As a squad. On the pitch?
Well, you know, whatever you like.
Well,
you turned up really to start off with to play football and just enjoy it.
Yeah. Where's these buses I've played with? Honestly. Honestly.
Was there any outstanding players at all that can improve and make next year's East Bus a good team?
Very few.
Very few. So you think Norman and George have got problems next year?
A lot of problems.
Well, what about as a squad of players, atmosphere-wise?
Great. Big team spirit-wise, good lads, but ability-wise and combining together, not much.
See, but this is how East Buses started the second time. You know, we had a few years where we didn't have an East Bus.
Yeah.
We started it off with the sole intention of a game of football on a Wednesday afternoon. Now we've got to decide whether East Bus is going to win a trophy or we're going to give the men in the depot a game of football on a Wednesday.
Well, as I said, like, as a team-wise, the team spirit's good, but the players don't blend when they get on the pitch. You can't really put your finger on it. For some individuals can, but as a team we don't.
No, you just don't click, turn over.
Click, you know, no.
Well, we've heard that there's new players coming next year. Can I ask you, are you playing again next year?
Well, I hope to play, but I'm on the stomach problem at the moment, and I don't know how they're going to resolve, like, but...
Well, let's hope there may be a trophy tonight, or...
I'm not really bothered about trophies, but...
maybe a trophy next year.
Oh, for the team?
For the team.
Oh, for the team, I'd like to see them in the league.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the competitive spirit, but...
Now, first of all, I'd like to call on Mr. Harry Dennis from Green Lane, who is the allocation inspector, to present the trophies this evening to the players that have won them. Harry, would you like to say a few words before I announce who's won the player of the season?
I'll say this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It really is a pleasure to be here. Thanks again, Norman, for inviting me this evening. This is shocking, these lights, aren't they? Absolutely shocking. What you said, Norman, regarding the artist, or having the artist to entertain and mesmerise and put your players into a mood to score goals. I'd like to see the other two artists that performed tonight, not on the touchline and not on the field, with all the antics that they were going through. Great. Anyway, Norman, pleased to be here. On behalf of the wife and myself, thanks very much indeed for your invitation, and may I wish the East Buses every success for the forthcoming season. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Harry. Now, the first one, as I said before, is the player of the season, chosen by the committee for 100% throughout the season. Now, it was a hard decision, really, because there's quite a few players who have given 100% throughout the season. There's quite a few players who haven't, really, but there's one, in our opinion, as the committee, which is a three, which is Larry Shelbourne and Georgie Lyons and myself, who we thought throughout the season give 100% everything he had. And that player is Davy Martland. Come on, Dave. Now, just to move on now, we would like actually to present a leading goal scorer, but as you all know in football, a goal is scored by the team and not by any one particular man. But what we decided to do was to make a goal of the season, which was one goal outstanding from all others. And believe me, we never scored many in the season, so the choice wasn't very hard, really. Out of the 2 goals we scored all season, one was a back pass. No, serious now. No, we had a hard choice because it was between 2 men that scored very, very good goals. And in behalf of the committee, we decided that the goal we would pick would be was a game that was away from home, you know, which is harder to score, really, because you are under pressure. So the game we chose was against Hanson's, which was away. And the winner is Mr. Jimmy Walsh. Now we go on, as I say, as short as possible, to the clubman of the year. Now, the clubman of the year, in case anybody who doesn't know anything about football, is the man in football who is kicked around from arsehole to tip. He's the chap that he comes up every week with his boots, religious, and he stands on the line, and some weeks he's used and some weeks he isn't. The fellow I'm going to talk about now, the fellow we chose, we think he's played in more positions for East Buses than the Kama Sutra. This lad has played inside out from goalkeeper to centre forward. Now we believe throughout the season, whether in all the rain and the snow and everything, that man has been there with his boots, playing well, and been there available for selection. So we as the committee decided to call on one player that we all think is, to us, our player and the clubman of the year, which is Stevie Connolly. Now there's only one more left to present, and to cut it short, what it amounts to is, to cut it short for the people who don't follow football all throughout, what we do at the end of every season, we give every player a form to fill in. Now the player has to fill in his opinion, and his opinion only, of his player as the player of the year, who he believes to him is the player of the year in that team. Now he has to allocate points throughout. And he allocates the top man 15 points, and he goes all the way down to 0. So he allocates every particular man a particular point, who he thinks it should be the player of the players player of the year. Now, this is the way it goes. I'll give you it in reverse order. Now, the results went so far. With 150 points, remembering that they got 15 points for maximum from each player other than themselves. They weren't allowed to vote for themselves. In third place was Jimmy Walsh with 150 points. Now, as you can see by the points that I'll tell you now, it's very, very close. In second place with 164 points was Jimmy O'Hanlon. Now, as I said before, it is the player's choice and nobody else's but the player's choice that they have chose in their eyes, which is the other 11 players besides him, as their player of the year. And they chose, not me, or not George, or not Larry, they chose their player of the year, Davy Martland. Which them lads thought this man gave 100% for them. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. And now the meals will be served from now until 11 o'clock. And I beg your pardon, a quick word from Harry Dennis.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll appreciate in any sport that no way can any efficient team be run without a good committee, and we do have in the East Buses a very good committee in Norman and George and also Larry. Could you like to take the floor, please, Larry? Would you just come up, please? Larry Shelbourne. Where are you? Larry Shelbourne. And this is a surprise, but on behalf of the club, I have also 3 further presentations to make. My wire's not long enough. If I may, Larry, of course, was the treasurer, and I understand you've retired now this season, haven't you, Larry? Thanks for keeping the books in order. Thanks for keeping the money okay. Keep it flowing. And the first trophy, have I got a pair of glasses? The first trophy is to Larry. And a box of chocolates from the boys to his good lady. Larry, thanks for everything you've done. And we'll see more of you in the future, I'm sure of that.
I didn't expect this, and I thank you very much. I am retiring this year because of personal problems. I do hope that East Buses go on to win the things that they should do, and with the players I'm told they're getting in, I do think they will do it. I thank you for this, for all me, and for my wife. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Larry. And the next presentation is to Norman. Norman, from all the boys in the team. We've got that many mics.
Thanks, Larry. Very good.
Thanks, Norman, for all that you've done, in appreciation from the boys, and a box of chocolates for the good lady as well. May you have a very, very successful season next season. And now, not the last, but by certainly not the least, is to George, who does an awful lot of work, an awful lot of running around. He does an awful lot of driving. George, from the boys. And thanks, George, and will you keep up the good work in the future? I know you will. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the presentation. I know you're dying to get into your fish and chips and chicken in the basket. Thanks very much for your attention. Thanks for putting up with me. You've got to put up with this fella all the while, I know. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much, Harry, for a wonderful presentation. And we'd like to carry on now with the disco for a few moments, and the meals will be served any time between now and 12 o'clock. Thanks very much for your attention. Thank you.
Two. Give it a big round of applause, please. Wait now.
Well, Dave, earlier on, I made a little suggestion that you might have got one trophy, but, you know, it must have been past your wildest dreams that you're going to get two.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, you know, for the manager to pick you, all right, and
Well, that was very good, yeah.
but for the lads itself, you know,
That's the one, isn't it?
that's the one.
Yeah.
You know, for the other lads to say that you're their footballer of the year must mean a lot to you.
That's the one I want. You see, I'm going to put it. To be voted player of the year is great, but to be voted player of the year is the next initiative, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
So, you know, you've got a lot to fight for next year. You know, to pick up two trophies next year.
It took me years to win this. This will do me now.
You know, Dave, and, you know, looking at them, they're two very nice trophies. Your wife pleased?
Yeah, can't believe it. He's
Yeah.
a liar.
And this proves where you've been going on a Wednesday afternoon, if nothing else.
Yeah, she thinks the rest of all the rubbish.
Well, you know, I spoke to a few of the lads tonight interviewing them earlier, and I had a sneaking feeling that it was going to be you by, you know, fellas that I'd spoke to. I'm made up. I'm really pleased for you.
That's what it was.
Let me congratulate you,
That's
team.
what it was.
And I hope to see, if not two, let's hope at least one, and as well as a league winners medal next year.
Oh, well, good thing.
Best of luck for next
That's very
year,
much.
anyway. I'd like to call in the player, Jimmy Walsh, that got the best goal of the year. Jimmy, can you come over? Sit down, mate. Well, Jim, you must admit, I believe you did say earlier that you voted for Dave.
Yeah, I did vote for Dave. Yeah,
Yeah.
made up. We got two.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, one is great, like, but I mean, for Dave, I think really Dave deserved. You know, he deserved the one. I made up. He got two. You know, it's an
Now,
added bonus for him.
Yours is the goal of the season.
Yeah.
Now, every professional, every amateur can remember the goal. Can you talk us through it a bit?
Well, actually, like, we were going to give it to the opposition's goalie for dropping it in the net for me, but
No, I don't believe that, Jim.
no,
Can you remember
Well,
anything about it?
I can remember you know, like, it was a bit of a build-up, like, from back, you know, I was in midfield and I just collected the ball and I just, you know, I laid it off and I just kept running into the forward position, and I was lucky enough, you know, I got the bounce. I remember it come off Billy Newman, and I didn't even think about it. It just hit it with my left foot. You know, usually I don't hit it with my left foot. Like, you know,
That's for standing up.
yeah. Well, that's it. You know, but because it's sweet and everything, and you know, it was nice to go in, like, and I was just.
Next year, a few more like that.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
Well, let's hope next year we can have a league, got a cup winners medal,
Oh, yeah.
and maybe another trophy for East Buses.
Yeah, I must say, I'd just like to say, congratulate Stevie, and I'm made up for Dave getting it too. I think he really deserves it.
Well, thanks very much, Jim.
Yeah,
Enjoy
thanks
yourself
very much,
tonight.
Rob. Oh, it's been great. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'd like to carry on the interview with bringing in somebody that we didn't see earlier on. I don't know where he was, but a very valuable member of the team, Steve. Come in, Steve. Well, Steve, I didn't get to talk to you earlier on. I didn't have a chance to ask you who your player of the year was.
Thanks, Bobby.
But you made up with your trophy.
Oh, made up with that, yeah.
Made it all worthwhile.
Yeah. I thought, you know, Jimmy Welch had a great season, like, but I think you've got to put it down to Marco, like.
Yeah.
I think Marco has a great
Now,
season.
as I didn't speak to you
Put
earlier,
that lights off, please, man, Bobby.
I'm sorry, mate.
Fucking smell of bullets.
Me as well, look at this. First time I've ever sweated in my life. No, as I say, I didn't speak to you earlier on. You're going to play next season. Is there any, are we
Well,
going
you
in?
know, well, Birmingham have asked me.
Well, they're in the second division, mate. You must go for higher things than Birmingham. No,
well,
you're only going to
Birmingham,
go next year.
Birmingham.
I'm sending him to Coventry.
No, well, the thing is, I've lost Jimmy Welch's cue, like, so.
No, you must have enjoyed this season.
Yeah,
This is crowned it.
No, we
You're going to have a go
didn't have
next year.
two good seasons, Jimmy, you know what I mean? But I think next season, like, I think
We might put
things
it
will
together.
block up, yeah.
Right.
I think things might start putting in perspective.
That was a big word.
Like, can we just lay off the air for a minute? And if Jimmy Welch might get his ass moving, like.
No, that's naughty. No, the thing is, enjoyed yourself tonight.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a great
Good night.
Yeah. Can we just.
Bring in
Yeah,
your wife
bring me
because
bird there.
she's allowed
Because,
you out
you know-
every Wednesday.
Oh, well,
these wives don't get in a lot. Would you like to come
every
in a minute?
Wednesday, would you like to come in there, baby?
Come on.
Come on.
Come on. I'll move over a bit.
She's got no on, by the way.
She's got no what?
She's been with Can we just let Jimmy in she's been with the window cleaner? He's been working hard for that. Can we just put the Coleman on there?
No. Can I ask you, are you pleased for Stevie winning this trophy tonight? No, come on, talk to
No,
me.
talk
Talk
to
to me, please.
His chest.
Never mind my early chest. Are you pleased that Stevie has won a trophy?
Yes,
Did you
absolutely.
Yes.
Did you expect it tonight?
No.
You expected
no,
it?
we never.
He's won one before.
Oh, it's not his first trophy. So it's something else to
Clubman
polish.
of the year, yeah.
That was the
Susan
glasses.
Clubman of the year.
Why, what else did he win this year?
Carlton,
Colin
Bobby.
Berechnet.
Bobby.
Oh, very nice. So you'll allow him out more than once a week to play football?
Oh, well, she tries to, Bobby, but I mean, you know, things can get a bit in.
Do you mind? I'm doing the interview in here.
Can you ask some serious questions like, what's your favourite sex position?
No, that's not
No
fair.
way. You talk like that one.
Oh, it's your
No. Wrap it up
This
on that, I
level.
think. Hang on.
Right, I'd just like to say, no one's young off, Bobby's young. Bobby's young. and especially George Lyons. I'd like to thank them because, do you know what, the last... Now, talk serious now. We've had a good season, we have a good laugh, especially with Bobby John, Mr. and Mrs. Tom, with the Suzzies. And I like to say, ask me wife. Well, I think she's me wife. Just have to say a few words. Go on. Just say how lovely. Just say how good looking I am. Well, I'd like to thank George especially George, because he's the salt of the earth. You know, UFO and all this lot.
Right, come on, let's wrap up.
And can we just wrap it up from there, please? Because, you know, I've had a couple of hours, like... Come on.
Right.
Right, Norm.
Right.
I'd like to start off with congratulate you on a cracking night.
Do you reckon?
Well, everybody's enjoyed themselves.
Bar me.
Bar you. Well,
That's not a bad swap.
I'd like to tell you now, right?
Yeah.
Maureen doesn't even know you've come.
Right? But if someone introduced me to her, I'll marry her.
Marry her, I'll tell you what, I'll fight you for it.
Tell you what I've seen tonight, this football team, it's not a football team.
Go on, mate.
Tell you, it's a gang of fairies. You know, George turned round before and he said, I am a fairy. Have I got news for them? I haven't got a fairy. I have got 11 fairies. Because if everyone doesn't get a trophy, they don't want to know.
Right. Now, we said that earlier on we were going to cut the slagging out.
Right.
Right, so stop slagging.
Wrong. What a wonderful... Hang on, do I have to read off the card?
Yeah, what a wonderful team we have got.
What a wonderful night we have had. It has been a great night, and I hope that this night remains always the best we've ever had. Come on.
Thank you, Norman.
Come on, Norman.
David Bailey, this is your life. Hang on, I'm going to talk to a sensible partner. George. Right, mate.
Yeah.
Take no notice of him, he's soft.
He's pissed.
Talking the biggest load of bloody cod this side of heaven.
Right,
I'm not
George.
joking.
As I come up to you before and I told you, let me be the first person to congratulate you on a wonderful night.
Yeah.
Well, I've spoke to a lot of people since, and I can honestly say this has been a great night.
Very good. Great night.
Can you give us...
Yeah, I'd like to say that Ron was really put on a good show for us. And the guys, I think everybody enjoyed it.
George, we must say a special thanks to George and Joe.
And George broke me RTA because
Georgie,
the bloody bus out.
Cornet, and Joe.
Christ, they really put you know, people have said it was fixed or whatever, you know, but no way. Because Georgie Corner would never say Liverpool are great because he's an Evertonian and it's through and through. Because Liverpool are crap.
I'll go along with that. Don't tell me. Yeah, we've
while I'm
got
on
to...
television now, Liverpool are shit.
And
Georgie Corner said Liverpool are shit. They're crap. But Georgie Corner said Liverpool are good, so he must have been pissed or whatever.
Yeah, he definitely had to be hypnotised to say that.
Jesus.
You know, and we won't tell Norm.
Norman, shut up.
We won't tell Norm and Jolliffe, but they are absolutely out of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Jolly.
Well, you're going to come back to me. Ask
Thank
me.
you, everybody, for tonight.
Oh, well,
Thank you.
here's somebody.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Thanks, Uncle Bob.
Who's the punch?
Thanks, George.
What have we done?
All right,
You
know, I've been waiting a long, long time for this. And she's always said that we would never get a photograph of her. And we would never get her on video.
No, show the camera. Show the camera.
She's just ran away to tell you. So, see,
You may ask me how Everton got on tonight.
They got beat
don't tell me.
They got beat 4-3.
We don't care.
Well, thank you for tonight. Yeah, thank you very much. I enjoyed
What
myself.
is
If I had got here a bit earlier, I would have had a few more. All right, what I mean?
No, you know what I mean? You believe in the
George, to finish the video off,
What?
what do you think of 1983? Can we pick up a trophy next year?
Yes, we'll piss it.
Does that mean we'll win?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be nasty, but we will win. We will, hands down. We'll beat everybody. The Fire Brigade, Anson's, the lot. We will. Piss it. I mean, I'm not being nasty or using naughty words, but we will. We'll we'll do everything.
Do you think we'll have to do a little bit of keeping to Harry in the background here for facilities?
Harry will.
I'll put the block on after the language I heard tonight. I'll definitely put the block on.
Harry will help us.
I will not.
Harry's our mate.
I was bloody disgusted with all this
Harry
blinding.
Harry Dennis is our mate.
You know,
He is. Harry Dennis.
you know, Harry is definitely a churchgoer, and he's not used to bad language.
He's the best. He's the best allocation officer at Green Lane I've ever had. He is our mate. Harry Dennis. Harry Dennis is our.
This is too much, you know. You know what I mean? I could understand, you know, if I heard you say George Abbott, if I heard you say George Abbott, if I heard you say George Abbott was do you mind if I get a word in it? If I heard you say George Abbott was a good inspector, then I'd go along with it. But saying Harry Dennis is a good allocation inspector, there's no way to blue.
Harry Dennis is a fantastic guy. What you doing now? And he will let East Bus have all of them. You will let East Bus.
No, well, I've stopped all facilities. I stopped from
2:30.
02 10 hours on my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Harry. Happy birthday. Well, all I can say, Harry, finishing on a serious point, right?
I am.
But right,
sticking up my ass and all.
right. Finishing on a serious note.